$7 million at least. We updated it from 22 days to 3 hours for the cycle time for the process. $7 million at the minimum is what we saved every year forever. And I did not even know what I was doing at the time. If you are not having results, there's a good chance that you're the problem and that the problem is that you're making an excuse. In this video, you're going to see me go from, by the way, this is from 2018 all the way through 2019 timeframe of several improvements that took place. This is one of the improvements that put me on the map. Connecting the work, getting the flow down. Don't make an excuse. By the way, if you're new here, my name's Hugh. I used to run a $52 million manufacturing company between China and the United States. I then quit, moved, started my own business in real estate, applied my manufacturing skill set to businesses, scaled that from zero to several $million. Now I help my friends do the same. In the video, you're going to see me do one of the greatest improvements that I've ever done. Now, don't be impressed with the money. Be impressed with the fundamentals, because I'm much more excited about all the small improvements we make now that don't make such a monetary gain. Why? Because they'll actually stick if you did it right. So I hope you enjoy the video. We're going to get to it right now. Video you're about to watch is an explanation of August of 2018 when I took over the facility and already been there for a few months and already made tons of improvements. This is its state. And here's a huge secret. If you see any inventory stacked up, any inventory at all, you need to know that it's an extreme amount of waste, represents hundreds of thousands of dollars, thousands and thousands of work hours of time of wasted employee genius. So this first video is to provide you the background of the next 5-part series, which is fixing it. So at the end, we'll loop back around and you'll see that. All right, here we are in building 7. This is the seating operation. There's some cut and sew in here. Here's the cutting operation. They're finished. They've made batches of work here by stack cutting. And I'm currently standing on top of where there's actual sewing operation is. I want to focus on seating from up at this angle. So you have the foam guy here. The foam guy will cut everything and stack everything here. And when he runs out of space, we'll stack it on these racks back here. Over here by this yellow post, there's a gluing machine. They'll go caddy corner, grab some products, and then turn it into the beginning of a semi-finished product. From there, those operations will then go to this assembly line down this row of lights here. That assembly line will shape, really it's the first corner by where the yellow jacket's standing. That will shape what the seats finally should look like. From there, they'll be dispersed. There's not really any good flow. There's not really any good way to feed these supply lines. Now, I want you to pay attention and look down this row of lights and this row of lights. Each of them has a different product. Each of it is all batch work. For this particular item here, there's 15 steps to completion. And that means that that one worker that is working at the end of that line touches that it's a order of 100 pieces. They touch it 1,500 times, picking it up, setting it down, picking it up, setting it down, doing the batch work in between. And then other lines are totally stopped because they started a batch work process, realized they didn't have the material, said screw it, we're going to do it anyways. We're going to keep working on it, and then it just and then they stop at that point and then just kind of hang around and then maybe go start another line. So there's a few half lines going and then really no flow. And then look how spread out everything is. In between these posts, it's hard to tell, but it's 5 meters. It's hard to tell in video, but it's 5 meters. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. It's just huge amounts of space to get any material moving. Yeah, I wanted to show you the state we're currently in. You can see behind me, there's a whole bunch of inventory. I have no idea what's behind me right now, but that's about a quarter of what you can see. Here's more, and then those are boxes, and then here's even more inventory. That's just the shipping. Oh, and then behind me here are racks with foam that has also been pre-cut that we may or may not have orders for. All right, so here it is from the front view. You can kind of see the conditions everything's in. All right, I'm going to take you guys over to the back here. All right, we've got all these things. They're all half done, upholstered chairs. We get orders by the thousands, but those will be the only time we ever get those and have them. Here's our cutting area. We have one machine, but look at this batch work. It's insane. Here's all of our racks. We're stack cutting. It's absolutely crazy. So not only has it been crazy, we've been like this for 28 years. Hold on, I'm going to show you our cut and sew facility. Look at all this inventory. That's completed stuff that has no value added right now. Look at all the batch work that's happening in front of each girl. There is just half completed items. It's all batch work. Step 1, step 2. It goes in a pile. Step 3 goes in a pile. Step 4 goes in a pile. It's just the craziest thing ever. I hope you thought that was shocking. Remember, any of the inventory you saw represents massive chances for improvements. But no one thinks that way. They think inventory is good. Yay, we're doing a good job. We're trying, we're busy. Just because you're busy does not mean you're efficient. So this first video provides perspective onto the next few videos and slowly correcting that. Let me know what you guys would like to see down below, or any questions you have to ask, or other things you'd like to see. All of this video is about, it's about taking action. I saw something, it pissed me off. After it pissed me off, I took action. Also, before we get into the video, there's a facial hair warning. If you see this video and are wondering, where is Hugh's beautiful mustache? The answer is, I had shaved it off and put it in this frame because I lost it on a bet. The instructions were, if your team has to come into work due to your negligence as a leader, then all of us, all of the leadership hierarchy, all of the production planning team, and that manager better be at work. Let's get to the video. So I woke up this morning and it's Sunday and I was having coffee and I was like, oh yes, it's Sunday, I'm having coffee. The instructions are, everyone rests on Sunday. Then I see someone walk by downstairs. I'm like, what's going on downstairs? So someone's going to the bathroom. So I'm like, hey, what's going on? Oh, you know, the sewing department's here. Like, why is the sewing department here? I check, plant manager isn't here, sewing department's here. They're behind on an order. Like, nope, this isn't happening. Call the plant manager. You get over here right now. Anyone's working, we're all working. They were doing batch work to catch up. We said, you know already that we have a way to make it from 6 days to 3 hours. And you're having people here on a Sunday working for no damn reason. So we stopped everyone working and we said, we're going to get rid of this batch work once and for all. And for the entire day, all we did was lean it. And that's what you're about to see. Here we are. It is a Sunday. We're having a very exciting day of 3S'ing. We just pulled a lot of this stuff out of this room over here. And we'll give you a look at what's going on inside. We've decided to change our operation to move everything over here. Little kind of crazy, kind of a mess right now. We threw an experiment together and it was no faster and no slower, but it guarantees quality. So that being said, we're now moving everybody over here. We're going to be working in pods of 3. We're currently running air, running power, running water to where it needs to be run. This morning, when we started the day, there was just these 2 pods here. Now we've doubled, tripled the size. Really exciting. There's now 6 pods. You can see out here we're running power, air, and water to each of the locations. Right now there's 2 meters of space here between the wall. Pat, our plant manager, talked with the sewing manager, and they've decided that it's going to be more convenient for the pods to be pressed up against the wall. They can make use of the wall space and make use of vertical space against the wall to actually have some storage options. We're working around all this overproduction. Everywhere you see stuff, right? Oh, we tried to move this table. Some things fell off. We got to move this thing. Oh, but there's all this stuff on it. Outside's the same thing. It's got overproduction that they stopped yesterday. They didn't complete. And then, that's very precariously perched, that could easily fall down and be damaged. This thing be damaged. Look, someone was stepping right next to it. Overproduction in the way of progress. And here's one of the things that Paul Akers pointed out to us. It just looks sloppy. It is sloppy. It was a previous 2-second lean improvement, but every single light going all the way across each of these desks is at a slightly different angle. It just looks sloppy, bad presentation. They're kind of in the way. We added them later to provide more light, but we're going to come up with a better solution, a more permanent solution. Here we are at the end of the workday, and we have some semblance of order. At a minimum, we'll be able to produce tomorrow. Looks totally different this morning than right now, and we're pretty excited. We now have 6 pods ready to rock and roll in the morning. Outside, we got folks working overtime still. They're adding the water and air conditions that are needed for the seating upholstery department to come down here. They are doing a great job, excellent job, super excited, very, very important. This day was as important as the day that we moved over to the office in the Gemba. I hope you enjoyed that. The perspective I want you to know is we took action. There's something that you are doing in your life that your gut knows is right, and you have not taken action. Whatever that is, do it. Take the first step towards it. Try it out. You're gonna fail. You should fail many, 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 many times. Someday, you'll get there or close to there, but you'll be horribly disappointed in yourself if it's 6 months later and you still feel the sads inside. If you guys like any of these topics, if you know a friend who runs a business and they actually give a crap about their business and they're humble enough to say, by God, maybe these other juggernaut companies that invested billions of dollars into their businesses to figure out efficient ways to do things, maybe those people actually have an idea of how efficient businesses are run. And if you think they're open to listening, you should share this video with them. If you want me to cover a topic, comment down below. Hey, I wish you could cover what's up. I haven't seen any pumpkin spice lattes this year. Whatever it may be. I am someone with an ADHD and mild dyslexia. Seriously. I'm an extremely average person and I get extraordinary results. And the difference is that every day I take action constantly. Here we are, it's day 2. This is where the sewing department used to be. It's just a skeleton of what it was. Look at all this waste, all this space to place overproduction. There's still plenty of overproduction. But here's the cool thing. I come in this morning. They're having the factory meeting with all the managers. They've already found a use for the space. They've moved the location. I showed up to the meeting. No one was there. I was like, what's going on? And they'd already took the bones, they picked clean, and are repurposing it. Amazing. I'm in this old sewing room here. I found this nice white cabinet with a piece of vinyl, Velcro. Let's check out what's behind it. Oh, look at this. Overproduction. Overproduction for parts, it looks like. They try to save them. Upon saving them, they stuffed them into a cabinet. Upon stuffing them into a cabinet and then closing it to keep them from getting dirty, they promptly forgot about them. Well, I don't know if you can see this on the camera, but they're all moldy. All moldy. So, that didn't help at all. Another case against overproduction. Here we are, part 2, and we've got new tables. They're pushed against the windows. What's going to happen is there's the pods on the other side of this wall here. The moment something's done, the completed cover pops out. I don't know why there's all this overproduction here. Very concerning to me. I was told we have overproduction because they were waiting on the iron. So now they have an iron. We've got a second iron. We have water run, air hoses run. Super exciting. This came over here this morning. We'll keep you updated on the progress. All right, we've got our embroidery department over here. It's just recently thrown together. Currently, they're just using what we have, but we're going to be making some specialized tables that fit the requirements that she asked for. Similar to a restaurant, we've got these 2 pods operational. We have one waitress essentially feeding the 2 pods here on this side. There's some transportation, batch work going on here. That's all right. Same thing. Looks like there's one person that does the separating, and they just feed the pods as they need that. And I wanted to point out the fact that during this time, even though we had just moved over, other parts of the organization are organically reusing previous parts. This was done without my instruction, without the instruction or hand-holding of anybody else. It's really incredible to see them make use of old things. That's part one. Another important part is to notice that there's going to be a portion in there about overproduction. During that time, they ended up trying to save stuff extra that they stored. They became moldy, and then they had to throw them all away. They were no good. There was all that vinyl and time, and then all that space it took up for years, and then they had to get rid of it anyways. So keep that in mind when you're thinking about overproduction. It's not just that you made more parts than you need. Think about all the other parts that are associated when you have too much inventory. I hope to finish this series soon, but if you guys like this kind of content, this kind of educational thing, I'd love for you to leave comments down below if you want to learn more about being efficient. This is a great example of how all the stuff I'm doing at home directly applies to work. And if you really want to help, share this with a friend, someone that you might think would be interested in this. Okay, today's the day that we put the stop to overproduction. If you're walking around your area and you see just piles and piles of stuff, then there's a problem. And right now we're freaking out. We're super behind on orders. And everyone's just continuing to do batch work. And the knee-jerk reaction is work overtime, keep doing it, just push forward. And that's the opposite of what you need to do. And that's the opposite of what we're gonna do. Right now, we're going to stop. We're gonna reconfigure this line where flow is possible. We hit a little bit of a snag. What happened was the workers did not understand what was going on or why it was going on. Word got to upper management above my head, and what ended up happening is 2/3 of the line was returned to batch work. That's going on over here on this side. This side over here, this one-piece flow. So I'm still allowed to run the experiment, but for fear of change, we were moved back to batch work. You'll see a better picture of that inside. On a positive note, this other side has not been touched. Right here, everything's being made. It's sewn, it pops out that window, comes out this side. Here they are making the chairs. You get straight into the boxes. And the boxes go on pallets, and the pallets, once they reach the appropriate height, go straight to loading dock. Right now, I was allowed to keep 4 sewers to keep running the experiment. But on this side, we return to batch work. As they make stuff, they make massive piles of inventory. It goes into these sacks. The sacks aren't touched until the next day, maybe 2 days later, as you can see like this. And then in the batch work fashion, it's continued to be made into a finished product. Wasn't that incredible? We had 2 pods running side by side. One cut the material, it immediately was sewn, it was immediately upholstered, and it went into the boxes ready to be shipped. Any defects were caught immediately, and we were able to stop the line and deal with the problems. I was too busy and too focused on the process that I forgot about the culture. So all the workers were extremely fearful that they were going to lose their jobs because it was so much faster to go from raw material to completed product that they literally sabotaged it and they went above my head. They did that because I left off the important part, training your people so they understand what's going on. They didn't realize that we weren't going to cut people because that's the big fear of everyone. Fault was that, hey, we didn't train you enough to know that when we get this done, we can actually expand more lines, we can get more products, we can do more sales, and no one's jobs are going anywhere. But they didn't know that because I didn't train them well enough around that. The good news around it is at the end, we had already done one-piece flow on the outside, and we had done one-piece flow on the inside. We weren't able to connect the dots between the two because both departments were scared. One more thing was the pay was all incentivized based on batch work. So when we started changing things that improved things for the entire system, it messed with people's pay because they were incentivized to batch work instead of being incentivized to get output production to the customer. Let's go back to Deming's 14 points. We need to eliminate metrics and quarterly bonuses based off of numbers, and we need to reward quality of workmanship. So it's so critically important that from the top down, Everyone understands what's going on with lean. There was only one person above me, and people started going above my head because they didn't understand. That was 2 failure points. 1, an education point on my part for not making them feel comfortable. But 2, from the top down, from the owner level, from the president level, they fundamentally did not understand what lean was trying to do, what it was about, and because of that, they let fear crush the productivity of months of hundreds of people's hard work. Poof, gone like that. Remember, here we got our cycle times from 22 days down to 3 hours. It was an absolute ridiculous time frame. You guys should stick around to the middle because there is some shocking stuff that goes on, and we're excited to show you that. Also, comment down below what you noticed the mood in the previous videos compared to the mood in these videos here. What is the atmosphere like? It's kind of interesting when you see that. Now, into the video. For the last series here, the last segment of the 6 days to 3 hours, everyone now is back to one-piece flow. Check this out outside. My favorite part. Look how open this is. There's not a bunch of crap everywhere. Not only that, everyone's stress level's way, way down. Really, really calm. But all the while, everyone's calmly working. Everything's flowing straight into these boxes, and the boxes are leaving immediately. Here's a quality increase. These are laminated, officially sealed, different inspection criterias, which, by the way, we never had before. Everything's very calm, easily flowing into boxes and going to the loading dock. We have one more surprise up our sleeve, and that is this area back here. This night, we had subcontractors in. We opened up a door right there. Same thing on the other end of the sewing room. First thing, we took out this wall behind us. We gave ourselves another 1/4 of the space, and we put out a second door. We've done a light 3S. Everything you see on the racks is what we're keeping. We're returning everything back here to the warehouse we don't need. It pops straight in there. We'll come from right outside, right onto the CNC cutting machine. And from the CNC cutting machine, you know the rest. So that means that from storage until it's in a box, total distance is 10 meters. For contrast, this is the old seating department. The sewers are way back there, 100 meters from where I'm currently standing. The vinyl storage is another 50 meters away from that. So it would travel 150 meters down there. Then, once it was sewn, it would then make its way back this direction. It was absolute insanity. Here's our foam cutting machine. We buy big buns of foam and then it's cut. It's being stored here about 20 meters from it. We use 10 to 12 of these per week. I'm gonna take you to where we used to store these. Eight 170 meters. You drive a forklift over here, forklift one up, and you have to wiggle it in and back and forth to get all through the factory, stopping other people, getting in the way, blocking things. We did that every day of every week for years. And people are wondering why our orders are late. Ermagger! 800 plus meters? Was that not absolutely ridiculous? We're about to show you our improvements, because all of that is gone and it's completely changed now. Please, if you have not done it already, like and subscribe. Make sure you stick around to the end of the video where we actually add up all the distances saved and show you the complete difference from what you just saw and how it is today. All right, back to it. In the old seating department still, we have the cutting machines and all of this inventory. We'll get that taken care of for you. Well, it worked a little bit better than before. Let's see if that works better. Well, it's not the best, but it is a lot cleaner. Let me take you to where we moved everything. Right in front of the machines, the foam block storage for them from now on, right behind them. Total distance from the machines to the lines is 20 meters. We moved over here, there's this huge pile of overproduction. This is the guy who made it. I said, we should get a picture in front of this because it's the last time that we ever have overproduction this much. It's the size of 2 cars. Here's what we were able to cut out. In addition to going to one-piece flow, our transportation waste, we removed 1,244 meters. So 97% reduction in waste. That's just the transportation waste. The motion waste, our employees actually had to go double that amount, first there to get it and then to come back. 22 days to 3 hours before everyone was running around with their hair on fire because we're late on everything all the time. People are freaking out. We're giving discounts and credits. We're losing money. And it's because of our process. We had order quantities of 500 chairs to 1,000 chairs. Every time that we made an order, the distance was traveling 1,280 meters. And now with the same order, each chair is only traveling 36 meters. We cannot quantify accurately how much money we saved. We can just say it's at least above $7 million. It's insane. So after reconfiguring the line, remember, they cut it, they sewed it, it was upholstered, floated in the box, and left. 3 hours. You have plenty of time to catch defects, to sound the alarm if something is going wrong, to ensure super high quality. And best of yet, all of our pricing structure was built in, accounting for our horrible waste that we had before. So now we get to make all that money back, make all of that difference in time because we updated our process and we were able to make the margins back. Before, we were literally losing money every chair we made. Again, guys, if you haven't seen the series, go back to the beginning, wherever the little bubble is. For those of you who are interested in any of this, there are books below that teach you about lean. Check them, click on them. If you buy them, they help us out. They don't cost you anything more. They're super great. And again, I'm teaching you things with deuce and a halves and gardening and stuff around my kitchen. But here in this video, you just saw the combination of everything coming together and it's saving millions and millions of dollars. What if you were the guy or gal who was at your company that came up with an idea that saved them millions and millions of dollars? You're an entrepreneur and you already run the company. What are you going to do with an extra 21 days of time? Thanks so much for sticking around to watch. Please help us by watching this next video.